Hello, I'm Peter Murray. I'm Curator-in-Chief at New London Architecture. And this afternoon, we're joined by Eman Martin-Vignerte, who is a director at Bosch, the global technology company. And I thought in this current situation, it would be very interesting to hear from her about how the sort of technology delivered by Bosch can assist in our current predicaments. So, Eman, Bosch is a world leader in connectivity, connected living and connected businesses and smart cities. So I guess in the last few weeks, we've seen a revolution in the way we all communicate, both locally and globally. So what role does Bosch play in helping communities in this time of crisis?
Absolutely, good question. So I have been really encouraged by the community spirit we have seen so far with the crisis. In the UK, we are now all isolated. As you can see, I'm working from home in our homes, and what makes the needs really for us to communicate with our employees, our customers, our partners, and our suppliers more important than ever. So I would like maybe to mention two areas which we could help as Bosch, and actually probably some is existing, some not. The first area is energy. You are now actually in the house. Your house is center of your life, so you consume a lot of energy. So with the Bosch boiler and the easy control, you could actually manage your energy. So you knew about your energy consumption, but actually you could look into adapting the temperature to the house, etc. The other area which I think increasingly will be more important, and actually we can see it now in such a crisis, if you have any malfunction in your dishwasher or washing machine, no one really would come now and fix it, or it would be difficult to send an engineer to your side actually to do so. So what is the possibility? If you can have a predictive maintenance offered within your smart homes appliances, you can predict these online. And actually, some of the cases you could even have update on the air to fix the problem. So I think there are lots of areas, but I picked these two because I think that they are probably central to the current crisis where we are, how they could be helpful.
Yes, and you talk about the domestic situation, but of course, smart cities are something which Bosch is also very interested in, and one which utilizes intelligent and network technologies to support us in daily life. So if the problems we face together today are forcing us to use digital technology for communications and business, I mean, do you think this current crisis could actually speed us up in our move towards having much smarter cities generally?
Absolutely. I mean, emerging from this crisis, will we will not be the same as before. We will have adapted to virtual working, and not only that, but learned new ways of communicating, and possibly more tech savvy. We'll come out of it more tech savvy. So what that mean? What could be the sort of things that come out of this crisis for how we live? One area is definitely increased connectivity within our home, because I cannot talk about city as we are all locked down. So the home is actually your city. So connectivity in the house is really essential. So people become more at ease with remote working, and businesses have had to adapt, use virtual working technology. But also we are likely to use increase of interconnectedness of the home and on the office places of work. People have felt time poor of, if you like, poor of a while. So we were working and commuting and actually didn't have that much time. But now we have more time to work and focus on many things. So for example, many times saving tech apps like Receipt Bank or Xerio, for example, have grown for businesses because people need to do online banking at home. Another area, if using the home as an additional place of work is going to increase for people the managing the home in a ways that save time. Like I mentioned, for example, the energy as a possibility. So, or smart homes means is that increasingly will be more and more important for people to have. Better connection between society, government, and businesses means is 5G could play a huge role in that perspective. We are seeing now connectivity problems. If you have like 5 people working in the same household in one connectivity line, so you have the speedest latency in that perspective. So 5G probably will play a role in the future. The final example is we have seen also the important, how could you interrupt business and how actually you could be flexible. So for example, we repurpose some of our manufacturing line to stop manufacturing boilers to manufacture ventilators. So how could we in these crises be flexible to adapt? We shut down our businesses, being physically there to actually then operate immediately online to protect people and help the lockdown for combat the virus. So it is really, it changed our life, absolutely, and changed the way how we see smart cities.
Thank you. So, I mean, what is disruptive then perhaps changes, because you can see that technology companies and, you know, Amazon is delivering probably more today than ever has done in the past. But so what do you think this will do to, say, the issues in the retail sector related to internet, and also whether changes we've been seeing in recent years towards the way we work, companies like WeWork, will this be an advantage to them, or will we suddenly realize, well, do we need to go into somewhere to work? We can do it as we're doing it now.
No, absolutely. So the crisis has driven our reliance, obviously, on tech to an even higher level than before. You mentioned Amazon deliveries, you're absolutely spot on. And the need to communicate and connect are now absolutely vital and essential, given the restriction on our freedom. Traditional retail was suffering anyway, but we may see that some of those who were finding it hardest before the crisis may not survive in the long term, despite the important support the UK government is giving them. Again, the shared workplace spaces have grown significantly. You're absolutely right about WeWork in recent years. So I'm based often at the London Connectory, where Bosch has shared office spaces for startups. And I think that will grow more and more, because the question is, will people really go back to the same working space, or where they have, for example, more home office, and then between now and then they can then share a space and then come back to their environment. So you're absolutely right. WeWorks or London Connectory as such for shared working space will become more important.
But then some of that is also probably because people want to have a physical engagement with people. They want to really meet people. Do you see issues arising at the moment with so many people at home, some of them alone at home? Is this sort of technological communication any substitute for that person-to-person meeting?
Mm-hmm. So maybe we, explain one thing. So home working and remote working are not the same. So home working in reality is occasionally day out of the normal day to day office environment, and way of working is different. So remote working is something more long term. So you work remotely from home, and it requires a different way of working and connecting with people. This is what we are seeing, a mass adjustment to right now. And you are indeed right. People weren't working that way. They were working more work from home, but now they are remotely working. But I think there's an adjustment already is happening. Getting used to doing lots more video, for example, calls like we are doing it now, and chats becoming important. We are adapting very well how we can engage with our stakeholders from physical to digital. These are benefits in both. And I think when the crisis passes, we will want to go back to the physical environment, but actually we will be in ease for using virtual environment as well. For now, we just have the virtual, and so we are doing everything to make these engagement meaningful and possible and useful. And I'm really engaging talking to you in a virtual way. So I think people are adjusting for sure.
But what do you think? I mean, you are a global company. What impact do you think it'll have on issue of global communications and flying? You know, we had a lot of debate recently about flying and its impact on climate change. Might this be a game changer in that respect?
Absolutely. I mean, we are seeing currently how, I have to say, the positive impact on the air quality. And I'm happy to share with you a link, actually was shared with me yesterday. You're seeing the map of the global world cleaning up is actually almost, you see no clouds at all because of the silence of economy, if you like. I think there will be an impact on traveling. It's for sure there will be more health scrutinies within the borders, because as we know, the COVID-19 spread in this crisis through people traveling across the globe. So therefore, there will be more stringent measures to make sure, actually, in the future, to have a health check probably on the borders. I think there is now a well-established trajectory in general for mobility. And as you know, not only travel from in the air side, but also travel with cars and trucks. So for mobility to move to net zero carbon by 2035, and this is the government target, I think to do this realistically, we are really needing to embrace all forms of technology from electric to hydrogen in order to reach this goal. So what I'm trying to say is, it's really the crisis open up our thinking not to be fixed on one technology or another, but actually to look what is good for us and for our lifestyle and for the use case we are in it now. So I think there will be a change. There will be a positive change as well, because probably people will commute future term less.
And I was interested to see in your CV that you'd worked for telehealth before, and which I guess must be very interesting for you to see what the impact of that is on health and the way we're dealing with that today, and the under coronavirus and the impact of that. What lessons did you learn there, which you think might be helpful to us today?
Actually, it's a very good question. If I reflect 7 years ago, when I was trying hardly to convince the healthcare providers for using telehealth in monitoring people from home and actually keeping the frequent flyers, or actually usually block beds in hospitals, the reasoning because of lack of social cares, there was reluctancy of believing on technologies and reliability of using these for patients. And if you see it now, where we're locked down, and actually the NHS saying to people, please stay at home and don't come to the hospital unless is necessary. So I do think for a futuristic term, definitely these technologies will pick up even more, because it's seen, if you want to isolate people and protect them, is the best thing if they can have connectivity at home where you can actually monitor them without bringing them to hospital where they can be in danger of picking such a virus.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for your thoughts today, Eman, because clearly we are in a period where the whole use of technology is impacting on everything we do on a daily basis, much more than it has been in the past. And I think everybody, certainly everyone here at NLA, has had a sharp learning curve into conferencing over the internet, and people have picked up very quickly, very effective way of communicating, and a very good way of having social meetings like this. So thank you very much for your contribution, and look forward to meeting up soon, physically.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Keep safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.